host Jats, aka DJ Mr. Minutes.
DJ Mr. Minutes. Yeah, I told you
Miss
she's coming back.
Miss Minutes came back, bro. She came back in full force.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, she went into ghost mode and she was a little unhinged in this episode. Reminded me of an ex.
Well, hear me out.
Okay.
She's crazier.
She's crazy. Yo, Miss Minutes is wild.
Yeah,
The fact that like even a AI girlfriend is wild is pretty funny to me. But listen, we gotta introduce you to our guest. He's been in the comments section in a bunch of our podcasts. He's been following us since Miss Marvel. We just found out, and he is always in the comments. We love people who are always in the comments because they're always so funny. Welcome, Brown Boy Wonder, aka Abrar.
Yo, Salaam, what's up, guys? How you doing? Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for finding us and sticking through with us. I didn't know you were a fan for that long. I felt like we just recently started seeing you in the comments, and he told me a little bit earlier, like, yeah, I've been following you guys since Miss Marvel, which is super cool.
it's like a year ago.
I know. It was a year ago. Jazz, did you
Whoa.
know that we're officially doing commercials for Miss Marvel on Spotify?
I had no idea.
Yeah, like it's like so the way Spotify ads and stuff works is basically like we apply for ads and stuff, but we don't get to pick the ads. They just show up randomly. And what we can do is tell them which ads we don't want. So we'll go in there and say no alcohol, no gambling, etc. Which is why sometimes you don't see a lot of ads because the majority of the ads are gambling. It's like Final Draft and all of that stuff.
DraftKings, all
DraftKings,
that.
all that shit, right? And like a lot of alcohol. There's a lot of that stuff on there. So no drugs, no alcohol, none of that stuff on ours. And then I was listening to it, and then all of a sudden, they're promoting Miss Marvel on our ads, and I'm just like, oh shit! Like the algorithm finally found out who we are, and they're like putting the correct ads for the correct audience. I thought that was super cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I took a screen recording of it. I'll post it. And I was just really really excited. So it's like a come full circle. It's like we started this podcast because of Miss Marvel, and now we're getting actual ads for the Marvels on our podcast, which is really
Wait,
cool.
we started from Miss Marvel?
I think the point of the podcast when we started it was to get it big enough so that we can be a voice for Miss Marvel. That was the main reason why we started it.
Is that why you did it?
Yeah, it was. That
I
was
did
my
it because
main
I
goal.
was bored and I wanted to hang out with my friend Neebs.
Well, a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
All right, then.
All right. But yeah, thanks Abrar for hanging out with us for that long, man. We really appreciate it. And like for the rest of you guys, man, if you guys are ever want to come on our YouTube channel and share some comments and stuff like that, we might ask you to come be on the show. You never know. You never
Never
know.
You
know.
never know.
We're thirsty bitches, man. We'll bring on anybody. We don't care. uh,
Goddamn.
I know, as long as you're funny. So let's talk about this episode. We got MTF in the comments. We got Uniform Kilo in the comments. What's up, you guys? Like an Ouroboros. Yeah, full circle. Damn, MTF, you just with the freaking analogies or metaphors. It's awesome. All right, listen. We get an old timey logo, and we find out that they are in 1868 Chicago. Renslayer and Miss Minutes, they're up to no good. It's so funny how the color palette for like 1868 is so like I don't know, like monotoned and like grayscale, and then Miss Minute is like this bright orange lady, and or cartoon, and she puts herself in black and white to fit in a little bit more. And I'm just like, wait a second, color existed in 1868. How is like, it's so funny. Like, I'm just like, I get it that like when we watch old timey movies, this is like the color scheme that they have in movies. But in real life, color existed. So like, it's just so weird to me how she blended in with the black and white so much better. What were your thoughts about the whole Chicago 1868 like background scene and everything? Abrar, you want to go first?
Yeah, it reminds me of like if you play Red Dead Redemption 2, that type of vibe. I felt like I was in that mode, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I really recently watched Killers of the Flower Moon, and it also has that same vibe as well. So I'm like, I'm into that world now.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know. That came out recently, right? That came out just this
It came
week.
out today.
Oh, it came out today. Very
Oh
cool.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. That's very cool. That's a movie that we should probably check out. Um, MTF says the ragtime Marvel theme was so cool. That was really, really cool when they started doing it, and I was just like, oh, look at that.
He
Uh,
took my comments.
you gotta be quick, Jad. You gotta be quick.
I
No,
know.
it was really, really cool. And then Renslayer and Miss Minutes are trying to come up with some kind of like plan, and she's like, well, listen, we have to take this book and throw it into this window. And she's like, why? He's like, he who remains told us to. So like he is predicting stuff that's happening, and now they're going to the past, and it's like a whole full circle kind of thing. It's just going round and round, self-fulfilling prophecy almost. Jazz, what are your thoughts about that?
I'm not sure if this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the reason for that is because in the sacred timeline, right? He who remains, Victor Timely, eventually gets to the point where he becomes he who remains, right?
Yeah,
But if Renslayer and them give them the TVA guidebook, doesn't this make him a variant now?
but what if he always gave him the TVA book?
See, that's the thing. I don't think that happened.
I don't know. It's called the
Right.
bootstrap paradox. Yes, exactly.
Right. This is exactly what MTF is saying, right? Because you can't go back in time to start the thing you had happened, right? There will always be some timeline where that didn't exist.
I don't know because
No,
if
the
it
only way for
always-
that to work is if time. Well, I guess in this case, time travel does exist in all directions. So,
Yeah,
but no, like the fact is, this He Who Remains eventually would have become He Who Remains, the one we see at the end of season 1 in Loki.
yeah.
But now I feel like they're speeding it up. But then by definition, that's a branch on the timeline. So I don't know how that's gonna play out.
But then, like, for example, the Avengers, they went back in time and got the Soul Stones and all the other stones and brought them together. They were always meant to do that. So does that make them variants? No, because they were meant to do that. That was part of the plan, and I feel like this may also be part of the plan. Abrar, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it is kind of confusing if you're gonna go really deep into it, but I think whatever's happening is supposed to happen.
Yeah,
That's it.
and that's it. He who remains knows all, man.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. MTF is saying that the caption called it a branch timeline, so then in which case it is a variant. Okay.
So it is a branch timeline? Interesting.
See, I don't know why I thought it said sacred timeline, but if it is a branch timeline, then yes, everything makes sense.
So he was in a branch timeline, not a sacred timeline. Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
As Uniform
Fair
Kilo
enough.
saying, it's like Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
the
the
almanac
almanac.
from it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So true, so true. All right, cool. So, you know what I really liked? I liked the fit. The old-fashioned fit that they were wearing was really cool. And it's so funny because when they were in 1868, it's all like, I don't know, like what's the word? Like muted colors. And then as they go few in time a little bit further, you can see that it starts to get like brighter green. And
1893.
yeah, and he looks like the Riddler almost. Like Loki literally looked like he dressed up as the Riddler, which I thought was pretty cool. And now we have Ouroboros and Loki and Mobius inside the TVA, and they're trying to figure out how to fix all these looms. And they said that, hey, killing all those branches of timeline did buy them time. So we talked about that in our last episode. So like they actually did help the TVA a little bit. They bought them some time. And then Loki's like, oh no, Mobius. He's like, okay, well we can't get in here because we don't have the aura of He Who Remains. But can we hack into it? And Ouroboros like, yes, that's awesome. How? And he's like, no, I meant that as an idea. Oh man, the delivery was so
Kwan
good.
just sells it. Like he's just so good at that.
That was so good. That was so good.
I love him.
He is so funny. I thought that line was so funny. He was just like, "Yeah, awesome. So let's do that." And he's like, "No, it was an idea." Oh man, and the fact that Loki and Morbius are so in tune where they both knew what he was saying, I thought it was really funny. What were you gonna say, Brar?
Past 3 episodes, he's kept saying like, "We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die." I think he's gonna keep saying that.
Yeah, he is definitely the Chicken Little of the TVA. Like the sky is falling. All right, so they're investigating, and they're like, all right, we got to find some clues, man. Find some breadcrumbs. And they see a newspaper with the ghost clock, and then that ghost clock happens to be Miss Minutes. So because of that, they kind of figure out where they need to go. And this was really funny. They had this transition, and the transition was like one of those old-timey, like, circles that go all black, which I thought was really, really cool. So they're really leaning into the old-timey stuff. I thought that was super cool. And then they see this statue of Odin, Thor, and Balder the Brave with no Loki. And Loki's pretty peeved, and he's like, Thor's not that tall, which I thought is pretty funny. I love that Loki can still be petty after all of this. But that was really, really cool. And then we meet Victor Timely. Abrar, what are your thoughts about seeing Victor Timely and Jonathan Majors acting?
Okay, so people can take it two ways. Either they liked his acting or they hate his acting. I
Yeah.
liked his acting. He became more like, he's like over dramatic scientist, pretty much like a mad scientist, pretty much. And I thought he was good. But I see people like in the comments like they don't like his acting in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of like stuttering and some like
Mhm.
weird voice directions that he took with it. I feel like they were probably on purpose. I don't know if he's supposed to like grow out of that as he gets more confident, or it was all an act because he was pretty much a scammer and
Yeah.
not really, the person who he pretended to be. Jazz, what are your thoughts about his acting?
I am going with the latter, that he's a scammer. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I agree. I thought that was really cool. One thing I did notice, and like I hate to point this out because I don't feel like all fantasy needs to point this out, but since the MCU has called out that there is racism on this in this timeline, they kind of did not care that he was black. They kind of just ignored it. They're just like, whatever. They treat him like a normal person.
Well, there's the one guy, Robert Barron, what's the guy with the mustache? He kind
Yeah.
of called him like boy, so that's kind of like a derogatory term as well, like back in the
Yeah.
day.
That is a derogatory term. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that just happened, but yeah, he did say that. I did notice that.
Yeah.
So a little
It
bit
was
of
done
like,
on purpose.
yeah, I guess that could be like a microaggression and stuff like that. But like when it came to Renslayer, nobody was really batting an eye. I thought that was pretty interesting.
But they did, though. Like, even in 1863, when she was walking by, everyone was staring at her like,
True.
Was she?
what
Maybe
the
I didn't.
hell are you
notice.
doing
All right.
here?
All right, maybe that's just me. Maybe I didn't notice. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. All right, I did like MTF's thing. It's cool to see a black version of a wacky scientist archetype. Yes, I agree. That's what I really really liked about him. It was really really cool to see, and the fact that he ended up being a scammer, though, is he a scammer? It's kind of like yes and no, because he did come up with the loom, but the loom was fake. But he said that he's not a scammer. The technology just has not caught up with what his inventions are.
Right. I don't think he's a scammer per se,
Yeah.
but he did scam here.
He did scam people. Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. And he scammed people earlier too with the pants.
Mhm.
Hey, those pants are going to work one day.
Wait, what were the pants supposed to do to make you taller?
Yeah, taller.
Of course, every guy's insecurity is his height.
Yo, I think we need to get these pants. Like, I could be 6'1", you're telling me? Like, yo, let's invest in this, bro. We need the
Hold up,
technology to catch up.
I can be an inch and a half taller, and suddenly I meet the requirements for most girls. What?
Yeah, man. That's all you got to do, man. Victor Timely, please save us. You're our only hope. Oh, man. That's really funny. I did like that.
I do have a question. Like, does Loki as the character, does he know like the idea of like racism?
For sure.
I think so. Because I believe he thinks like racism is kind of like beneath him. Because if I recall correctly, one of the reasons that he wanted to rule Midgard was because of all the silly like separations and wars and fighting over religion and race and all that stuff was part of it. He's like, none of that matters if I subjugate you all. That's kind of his thought, which is admirable in a genocidal way. In a genocidal way.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't disagree with it.
Yeah.
He's the frost giant, so I guess he knows it.
Right? He's blue. He's basically blue. And also Heimdall is like one of the most highly regarded person in Asgard. MTF's comment is I'm not gonna repeat that comment, but you guys can read
we can
it.
say it. We're quoting here. It's fine.
Yeah, he says maybe the N word doesn't exist in this branch timeline. Maybe. All right, MTF. maybe not.
He's also
said
saying timely. Kind of reminds me of the Wizard of Oz, which is, good at science but also scamming.
Yes, great analogy. That's exactly the man behind the curtain. I totally see that. Very good point. One thing about the loom is something that I noticed is that the loom is supposed to use time to power things and have energy and almost be super powerful. And isn't that similar to what Tony Stark did with the arc reactor? The arc reactor is a version of the loom, but it doesn't use time.
Hold up. I need to go look at some schematics.
Yeah.
What?
That's why the Iron Man suit in the arc reactor is so powerful, is because the arc reactor is a battery that's like continuous. That's why it can power the Iron Man suit.
So are you saying Victor Timely came up with the arc reactor before Tony?
Possibly, or a version of it. His version uses time. Tony's version probably just uses a different kind of science. Quantum energy is what MTF was saying it.
Whoa.
But does Victor knows like what he's looking at through the book?
No, it just came to him one day, right through the window.
Yeah.
But I think he said he always suspected that he was meant to do this, but he just didn't know it was him who kind of did this stuff. But the person who made the handbook is Ouroboros, not Victor Timely. So Victor created the time loop, and he created all of this stuff. But what did Ouroboros do? Did he just write the book on it, or was he part of the inventing also?
So this is where the whole variant thing came in, right? Because in the Sacred Timeline, Ouroboros wrote it based on what Victor Timely did, or He Who Remains did, right?
Yeah.
In this new branch timeline that's speeding everything up a bit, right? It's a little bit of both.
Interesting.
Right, but the reason it can exist now is because you're not going back and changing it, or you're not going forward and changing it, so when you go back, it's changed. It's a different timeline.
Yeah, that's pretty true. So this arc reactor or loom is supposed to be able to power the entire planet. And then he gets a deal out of it. He gets $1,000, which I don't know what that is in 1893. Like, I don't know how much that is worth. But
I'll run a calculation real quick.
it seems like that guy got a really, really good deal. And then Loki made one of the guys disappear who was kind of fighting him. And they had this little chase scene, which I thought was pretty funny. But as they're chasing him and they're going around and doing all this stuff, Renslayer and Miss Minutes are there. Miss Minutes is in the purse, told to stay in there.
She's like a little pet.
Yeah, like a little pet. And then all of a sudden, Sylvie appears with the machete, and she starts saying, "Hey, listen, we got to go and fight this He Who Remains. We got to kill all the variants." And Loki is trying to protect him because they need his aura to fix the loom and all that stuff. And they go into this battle. And what were your thoughts on that when Loki appeared? Brown Boy
Real
Wonder,
quick,
you want to go
before
first?
we go there, I did do the calculation. It's not that much money, relatively speaking.
How much is it?
In today's dollars, it would be worth a bit more than $34,000.
Well, $34,000 for something that doesn't work is a pretty good deal.
I mean, for a scammer, yeah, but like, if you're getting essentially a prototype arc reactor, I would pay that in a heartbeat. I would go like, hey, bank, give me
Yeah,
50,000 right now. I got something.
that's true. That's true. People in Chicago should have more money than that.
Especially at the World Fair.
Yeah. Michael says some things, but I want to get to that a little bit later. I definitely want to talk about that. But let's talk about
Uniform
the whole.
Keel is something I want to get to a bit later too, because oh my god, that's one of my thoughts too.
Ooh, oh my God, that's okay. All right, we're gonna get to that. So they have a big fight, and then they need to escape. And she goes to Miss Minutes, and she goes, "All right, Miss Minutes, do your thing." So Miss Minutes gets big, and she becomes a ghost, like a little Pac-Man ghost, and scares everybody, and everybody runs away. That stuff was awesome. I really like seeing that. That was really cool. These people have some thoughts about Miss Marvel. Uniform Kilo says Miss Minutes will be the new Ultron. Whoa, that's a theory.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
theory.
going to touch upon that later, but I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are your
I can
thoughts?
see that. Yeah,
Yeah, Brown.
I can see that. Miss Minutes is like pretty much the AI of the TVA, so I can see that.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. All right, so that's what happens, and then he brings Ravonna to his lair or whatever his room is. It's not his office because his office is actually his lab is in Wisconsin because the taxes are better. Which I'm like, same, bro, same. I like how fiscally responsible this man is.
Is that why you live in Jersey?
No, we're the worst in that stuff. That's why
I was going to
respect
say,
it.
like,
No, none of that is good in Jersey. The taxes are horrible here. Don't come here. In fact, people should leave. Oh my god. So I want to be able to buy a house one day.
don't we all?
Don't we all? All right. But something someone said here. Who said this in the comments? Someone said, where was that comment? I want to share it. Something about Ravonna and Timely. Where is that comment?
This one?
There it is. The romance vibes with Ravonna and Victor were palpable, and so was Miss Minutes' hateration.
You know what? That's a
Oh,
word
man.
now.
Hateration has always been a word since our Queen Mary J. Blige. Yes. But yes, I thought that was funny, and we get the first hint of it, and I was like, did I just see Miss Minute get jealous? Nah, that's probably not it. That's probably my imagination. Little did I know,
Bro, it was so there.
bro.
Even
Miss
the animators got in on it. They were like, with the eyes and everything.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Miss Minutes went single white female on on this is really funny. She literally turned herself white to go single white female, which I thought was pretty funny. And then Victor's showing her around, showing her his fridge chair, which amazing invention, a fridge and a chair together. I fuck with that. But they were vibing. They were vibing really, really well. And you see Miss Minutes gets a little jealous. And we kind of see that, like, a little bit of the tension there. Well, what were your thoughts about this whole ordeal, Brown Boy Wonder?
I mean, Renslayer, she is doing her job, trying to do that. But the thing is, like, what's his name? Timely. He doesn't do partners. So
Oh, interesting.
he said that in the beginning of the episode, like, yeah, I don't want to do partners. And then I think that
yeah,
came
right when they
along.
were selling you the machine initially.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do a partnership, the robber baron. You're right. Yep.
Yes, you're right.
So I kind of caught that on, like, oh, I don't think Timely's gonna be with her. But then, little when we know she's like paddling by herself.
Yeah. I mean, we know he appreciates her because he tells her in that recording about all the stuff that she's done for him and how she was by his side. But he also kind of just left her ass as a judge in the TVA and then brainwiped her, right? So who knows how he really feels. He probably really is. No partners, all by
Bro,
himself.
no. He is simping hard.
Well,
All right.
at this point, I feel like he was. At a point, he was simping. But then, look what happened. Miss Minutes convinced him to throw that bitch overboard, right?
Hear me out, right?
Yeah.
He knows what's going to happen. He knows this whole TV is going to exist, and he knows Renslayer is going to run it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What better way to keep the woman you love around without actually worrying about time.
Ooh.
He
That's
kept her
great.
there because he likes her, and that's it. Otherwise, anybody could be judge. Like, why is one person specifically?
Yeah, but that kind of makes him a little bit of a predator, right? If you keep,
Oh no, straight up, this is like kidnapping on
yeah,
like a quantum scale. Of course, it's horrible, but he did it for love.
imagine like you're dating somebody, and then every time things go sour, you just like brain wipe them and then start all over.
I'm like
And,
90% sure this is a movie somewhere.
right? Like, hold up, man. Are you getting consent to brain wipe her every time you do this, and then like, starting a new relationship? I don't know.
Isn't like
It's
the movie Her by Joaquin Phoenix, or is that something else?
that's the one where he falls in love with a phone, like an
Yeah.
AI on the phone.
Yeah,
Which leads me to the next thing, which is Miss Marvel, Miss Minute. Miss
Similar.
Minute, yeah, Miss Minute convinces him to throw away the girl that he was simping for. Like Miss Minute is a master manipulator too. She pulled that off. I'm not mad at Miss Minute, man. She is devious and a little bit of a manipulator. What are your thoughts about Miss Minute doing that? Because I thought he was definitely simping for her, but for the fact he's just like, nope, I'm gonna get rid of her. I didn't see that coming. What about you guys?
I didn't see it coming immediately,
Yeah.
but then I was like, at some point, he's just gonna do something to get rid of her or wipe her memory, and essentially just make her, Ravonna Renslayer,
Yeah.
judge of the TVA. I didn't think it was gonna happen that quickly. That he was just gonna throw her away. Because I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
second, that may not work long term. But let's see how they play this out.
But I love the way the animators made, like, if you look at Miss Minute, she smiled a certain way, her eyes look a certain way, like you knew something was up. The animators did such a good job. Brown Boy Wonder, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she's really devious, and I do like how they do with the artwork on Miss Minutes. It
Yeah,
is like really, I don't think people pay attention to that, but yeah, they should. She's a little, mm.
like a firecracker, right?
Yeah.
I love the fact that the floor glows because like her feet are not just she's not flying in the air, she's walking, and you see a little bit of like a glowing ground every time she walks, which I thought was really really funny. I don't know. I was a big fan of that. And then she's like talking to him, and they're talking, and she's like, "Listen, after all these years, I was the first person that you built, and you made me able to rewrite my own code and rewrite whatever I want to be. But the one thing you never gave me was a body, right?" And and I'm like,
Hold up.
"Oh, yeah."
What if Miss Minutes is Ravonna Renslayer?
Whoa. No, no, that can't be. Because we know that Ravonna Renslayer was a principal and she was a variant.
Yeah, she's a variant. Who's the original Ravonna Renslayer?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
The idea just came to my head. So
But
let's see.
it's a good thought. It's a good thought though. But like the fact that like she was a principal at a school, uh, she couldn't have been an AI with the human body.
I don't know, man.
I
I
guess
think
it's
the
possible.
reason she's such an advanced AI is because she's human, who was then turned into an AI.
I
And a
think.
good chunk of her memory was wiped. And that's why she became a white girl.
I don't know. I don't know.
It was kind of
Yeah.
creepy when her face was on the mannequin.
Yes.
Oh yeah, with the glitchy eye. I was like,
Yo, the way she like lunged at him and he turned it off, I was like, "Oh my god, that is so crazy." I was like, kind of felt like, didn't this happen to Jonathan Majors in real life with the white woman he was dating?
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Allegedly, we don't know. We don't know. What's with this guy that makes women act this way? Oh man. MTF wrote, and when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. Classic Kanye. He says Miss Minutes is coded as white. I was hating on her breaking up a black love situation he was brewing.
Amen. I respect where you're coming from because I kind of felt the same way.
I know. I kind of felt it too. I kind of don't disagree with him. That's solid. Uniform Kilo says Timely wants no partners, not even his variants. That's why only he remains. Very true. Very true. Kanye instead of Kanye and Kang. It's
10 out of
Kanye.
10.
Perfect.
Oh man, solid, solid. All right. So as Miss Minutes is coming here, and he finally puts her away, Ravonna comes up, and so does Loki and Mobius, and they're all trying to convince him. After she's like, "I love you," and then kind of just goes back. um, but then we see Ravonna there, and she has the prototype of the probe thing that makes people disappear, which I thought was pretty crazy. I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, I don't know. What are your thoughts about when Ravonna shows up and so does Loki and Mobius?
I mean, I was not expecting that, but when Sylvie, her thing is she just want to kill King, but I think her character developed and it's like she's gonna listen to Loki for the first time, I guess, and not
Yeah,
to kill Kang, and hopefully that might work out.
yeah. So Sylvie comes through and she kind of just like rips shit up and stuff like that. And Loki and Mobius get to take Victor Timely through the door. But then Sylvie isn't done with Ravonna, and she goes, "Looking forward to talking to you," because you remember Ravonna Renslayer was the person who was the judge who decided that she was a variant and would get probed. And she asked her in last season, "What was my Nexus event?" And this bitch said, "I don't remember." I would have been so mad. I would
Yeah.
have been so mad. Like, oh my god.
Again, MTF has done it because I know we're going to come right back to it about how Sylvie was, essentially ready to kill Victor Timely. And like, MTF saying in the comments, I saw it as Sylvie seeing herself in Victor, which is exactly, what the words he was saying, like, I am not the other Kangs. The same way Sylvie is not the other Lokis. She's different. She has her own personality. She has her own blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
so she let him go because she is growing and she sees that, okay, maybe this isn't it. And quite frankly, I thought that was brilliant because as we've seen twice now, if there's ever a Kang variant, Sylvie will kill them. So if this Kang screws up or does something stupid, Sylvie will just come back and kill him. Like, this is a win-win the way I see it.
Makes sense. Brown Boy Wonder, what are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, that it makes sense. But do you think like this variant is he like the original? Like, is
He
that
Who
just like
Remains.
yeah? Is
So
it
in the sacred timeline, yes, Victor Timely would be the He Who Remains we saw at the end of season 1. But now that he's been given the TVA handbook so early on, he's a variant. So maybe he is
nice?
different.
Yeah,
The
I
other,
think I see like he's pretty. I don't see him as like a bad variant. He's like more of a good variant. But I don't know if you remember the scene in the bar. He kind of like gave that money to that guy at the bartender, showing like he's because he was supposed to outbid that one guy, but he gave him money. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do remember that. Yeah, he there was a guy at the bar and he kind of gave him like money. I don't remember what. I think the guy did something with scam. I think he helped with the
He
scam
was
or
one of the
something.
bidders. He was upcharging
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
up
yeah.
pricing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's a good variant if that's a thing.
Here's
It's funny you say that because there are versions of Kang who's good. Iron Kang, for example.
Mm.
yeah,
Iron
Iron
Man
Lad.
Kang. He's a
Iron
good
Lad.
guy. Yeah, but this is gonna go into a conversation like that I was hoping to have toward the end, so I'm gonna save this for a bit.
I
Oh,
mean, we're pretty much already at the end because nothing really happens other than this, except Sylvie kicks Ramona into the end where He Who Remains was, and they saw the dead corpse of He Who Remains. And then Miss Minute comes out, and she's like, by the way, I have a secret about you, and if you want to know, it's gonna make you really mad." And then the episode ends up. Oh, so what the hell is the secret? I don't know, but I kind of feel like Kang did some non-consensual stuff to her and wiped her memory over and over again.
I'm telling you, Miss Minutes is Ravonna.
I don't think so. I don't buy that.
or maybe Obi is the King variant.
There is a theory Obi is a Kang variant. That's a very interesting
Mm.
one too, but we're not sure about that one. But yes,
Mm.
you're right.
So like He Who Remains killed every one of his variants except for Obi.
Yes.
I could buy that. I could buy that. But here's the thing, right? Kang doesn't get born until the 34th century. He's like Reed Richards' descendant. And then this He Who Remains is Victor Timely, who just happened to grow up in 1878 Chicago. So it's kind of like all over the place where these variants come from. So they could come from any timeline, anywhere, and they don't have to literally be related to Reed Richards.
So I know in the comics he was always born way later, and then
Yeah.
he does go back in time and make himself stronger, so he gets stronger later. Like he makes himself stronger earlier, then by his growth he becomes stronger later. What I think Marvel is doing here instead is that the timelines can shift in a way where Victor Timely can be born at any given time. And in fact, at the end of was it Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness where we see the Council of Kangs?
Mm-hmm.
You see Kangs from every era, like from the year 3000 all the way back to like ancient Egypt Kang.
Yeah, that is
And
true.
so I think what they're doing now is like, okay, these Kangs are all born in different time periods that we know, but eventually they become the He Who Remains of their universe, figure out time travel, multiverse, and then they find each other. And the smart ones eventually realize instead of killing each other, we become the Council of Kangs. And that's how this is happening.
I buy that. Brown Boy Wonder, what are your thoughts?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
but by
okay.
the way,
So
it's
MTF says Quantumania. This probably was at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania. I couldn't remember which movie it was, but yes.
fair. Brown Boy Wonder, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, when it comes to that, I can see how Kang is like he's like I don't know what would happen at the end, but uh will Kang like be the guy who will I know there's gonna be a secret what the Avengers movie that's coming out in a
Secret
few years.
Wars?
Yeah, Secret Wars. Will this be the last time we will see Kang in Loki? Will Link be Loki, or are we going to see him later on?
No, Kang. They said he will return, but they don't say in what. So it could be Secret Wars, it could be Kang Dynasty, or it could be way before that. My guess, most likely, is he's going to be the main villain for the Fantastic Four. Is what I'm thinking when that comes out.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
So this is why I wanted to wait till the very end of the episode to talk about this.
I think we're there.
I
I
don't
think we're at the
think.
end.
Yeah. Now we're at the end. I don't know if Marvel knows what they're doing right now.
Oh.
Really?
Here's why. I think they had a plan with Jonathan Majors, but then after whatever happened, the Marvel formula works really well when everything is in place and works perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you throw a wrench in the equation, Jonathan Majors and his allegations, now they're trying to fix things and it's a lot harder to do. So I think they changed a lot from the original script of what Loki season 2 should have been. And now they're trying to course correct in a way where they can write Jonathan Majors out as a minor villain or maybe even a hero now because we see him becoming a good guy as opposed to the big bad that was supposed to be in Avengers.
So I kind of disagree with you because number one, I think if the situation got really bad, I think they would just recast. Marvel's not afraid to recast. The other thing is the show, the biggest movie, the first big movie that's going to come out, the Avenger level movie that's going to come out is called Kang Dynasty. You can't have no Kang in Kang Dynasty. That's one thing. The other thing is I feel like they're just waiting to see what happens with the allegations and stuff. So they might be slowing it down, but I don't think they're changing it because they did come out and say that Loki 2 is the only Marvel show that they made without any what you call it? What do they call when you reshoot scenes? Reshoots.
Yeah, reshoots, right.
Yeah.
No, because I think by this point they knew what was going on.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Because I feel like this show was ready a lot sooner. Like they were filming the show back when, like, I believe Miss Marvel was coming out. That's how early they were doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the timeline literally the timeline doesn't work out. If they're going
No,
to change some stuff about Jonathan Majors, it's going to be post Loki, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I'm just trying to think, like, it really feels like, or maybe it's just misdirection, because maybe they are misdirecting me here. It feels like they're going in two different directions here compared to what you would think they would be doing.
I agree with that. I do feel like there might be some misdirection here, and I could see why you would go down that rabbit hole. It's very plausible. It's very
Right,
plausible.
and a lot of
And-
dots do connect, unfortunately.
Yeah. The only reason I don't say it makes sense is because of all the meta information that I have from based off like, oh, this is when they did reshoots, this is when they filmed this is when they filmed that. Had I not known about when all these things were filmed and how they were backed up because of COVID and all that stuff, if I didn't know that, I would probably agree with you and be on the same track as you.
You cheater.
I mean, if that's correct, then maybe Obi is king.
Yeah. Obi being
Yo, if
Kang would
Obi
be
ends
wild.
up being the real Kang and Kang dynasty,
Yeah.
holy shit, I will lose my mind.
That would be insane. That would be insane. Though, like, I don't know. I do think Jonathan Majors is a pretty good actor. Like, I don't like.
Yeah.
He's not a bad actor. He's really, really good. Even if he takes like weird, like Homeboy's got to do like probably 100 different variants, and he's probably just like, all right, I got to make this one have this twitch, have this one have this certain accent. He's got to mix it around with a lot of these people, right? Because He Who Remains talked very differently than Victor Timely, and Victor Timely talked very different than Kang, and Kang talked very differently than the three Kangs that we saw at the end of the credits. So this man's got to do a lot of different variations. So some of them we'll like, some of them we won't. So just that's how I feel.
Yeah, and then MTF single comments, I think that ironically strike-related delays gave them more time to pivot than they had before.
Oh, that is true.
So,
That is
yeah, there may be a pivot here, if not a major one.
true. Yeah.
Then at least they're trying to pivot away from certain things. And I think, Feige's doing a decent job at it because most people don't even notice it.
Yeah, that's true. The thing with Jonathan Majors' allegation is like the allegations weren't bad because a lot of it was misproven, but in their attempt to misprove the allegations, they leaked some text messages that make him look really bad. It make him look like this has happened before, and it was really, really bad. And even though like the video footage and everything shows that like he wasn't the aggressor and he didn't do anything wrong in this situation, the text messages made it seem like it was still partially his fault, or maybe he has done something like this in the past. Allegedly, we don't know. It's kind of weird. And then there was this really weird viral video where Jonathan Major breaks up a fight, and everyone's like, "Yo, this is him trying to save his career with a viral video." It's fake as hell. And like, why is some kid recording this fight with a laptop? Like it wasn't a phone they were recording.
It was recorded with a laptop?
Yeah, this
Oh.
one kid had a lap. Check out this video. It's called Jonathan Major Breaks Up a Fight. Look it up on YouTube. And there's two kids fighting, and Jonathan Major's breaking them up. And there's one kid on the side, and he's recording the whole thing. Not on an iPad, not on a phone, but on a legit laptop, using the with a webcam on the laptop to record the fight.
Oh wow.
It's pretty funny. But a lot of people are saying like, all right, and action, as if it was all a setup. like the comments were like, Jonathan Major's PR team and action, trying to save his career. So we'll see. I don't know.
I'm not gonna try and defend Jonathan Majors at all. Just like I'm gonna let the courts figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, shoot, I lost my train of thought when it came to what I was gonna say because I know Brown Boy Wonder mentioned it earlier. Somebody in the comments mentioned it earlier. There is a thread here. I had to tie in, but now I can't remember it. Damn it.
I mean, I do love like Jonathan Majors, man. He's a great actor, but I wish the allegations never happened. He's such
Yeah.
a good actor.
Forget the allegations never happened. I wish like whatever it was didn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sad. I hate when that happens. But yeah, we got some comments here. Jazz, while you think of like what your train of thought was, let's go to some of these comments. Someone says, when are we getting the X-Men She-Hulk? I remember when She-Hulk said that. Yeah, we still don't know about the X-Men. Though I'm not surprised if like Deadpool might have some kind of like thing with the MCU. I don't know how that goes. MTF says Jonathan Major definitely had the ability to switch up his performance for different Kang variants. He does, man. If anyone can do it, it's him. He is pretty talented. And then that was, let's see, he goes, whoops. That was 1893 Jonathan Majors. Yes, I don't know what this comment was about. What if Obi is the Beyonder? I don't know about that. That's possible too.
Maybe.
Now you're getting fun.
I know. Everybody wants Obi to be something special because Obi is such a great actor and such a great character. Even if he ends up being nobody except for Obi, we still love him. We love Obi. He's in our hearts.
I found the comment. Miss Minutes will be the new Ultron.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
This I actually totally buy. Because if Miss Minutes can control all of time, she doesn't need the Infinity Stones. She can make anything happen.
Yeah.
And as an AI, like just like Ultron, she is an AI. I totally see that coming.
Yeah.
So if she is an AI who wants a body, just like Ultron wanted a body, right? There's a lot of parallels to Iron Man and Age of Ultron and just how this whole situation's playing out.
What? So, like, to power something like an AI would require a lot of energy. Kind of like the energy you get from a time loom.
Or AKA the arc reactor.
Or an accurate. I
Like,
don't know.
see the parallels here? Like, there's so
Yeah.
I
many
see it.
parallels.
I see
There
it.
are some parallels. Like arc reactor created Ultron, time loom created Miss Minutes. Yeah, I see it. There are some parallels in here. That is very interesting.
Yeah, so that was the comment I was referring to. Like, this is going to be a very interesting ride. And in fact, if Miss Minutes is the new Ultron, I think she may be the big bad in Secret Wars.
Ooh.
I would love that.
Right, that's the pivot here. That's where I was going with my whole train of thought now. I
Gotcha.
remember.
That's a good thing because you can't you got to have the Kang fight obviously because it's Kang Dynasty, but Secret War comes after Kang Dynasty, and that's going to be the big one.
Yeah.
You're right because that's going to be where Kang Dynasty might be the Infinity Wars. Secret Wars is going to be the end game. So yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Right. So I think they're pivoting away from Jonathan Majors as the big bad and more of a minor bad or good guy. And Miss Minutes is the big bad.
Ooh,
Shout out to Miss Minutes, Tara Strong. She's a great voice actor.
Oh, we can't support her exactly.
Oh,
we're not super
happened?
happy with her at the.
We're not happy with her at the moment.
oh, okay. I don't know what happened. But okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, she is a very talented actress. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of Miss Minutes. I don't know if Miss Minutes is an original character or she's from the comics. I don't recall. So someone says, yes, Secret Wars has been confirmed to be a soft reboot of the MCU. A lot of that is because in 2025, all of the X-Men contracts will be out. So basically, someone said that Fox had this weird contract that if anyone makes an X-Men movie, they have to use the characters from X-Men. So if they want to reboot the characters and bring in all new characters and all that stuff, they cannot do any of that until 2025. That's why when we've seen X-Men, we've seen them from the Fox version. For example, we saw Patrick Stewart. He was Xavier. We saw who was the other one that we saw? There was another one.
Reed Richards?
No, Reed Richards is not a X-Men character. He is Fantastic Four, so he's different. Even though they're both owned by Fox, they don't have that in their contract.
I was
Only
thinking the
the
Fox
X-Men.
connection, yeah.
Yeah. Only X-Men have the thing. So basically, Hugh Jackman, that's the other guy. Hugh Jackman
Wolverine,
is still
yep.
playing Wolverine, and because of that, it's a contract issue. So they cannot recast any X-Men until 2025. And that's when they expect Secret Wars to happen, and that's going to be the reset, and that's when we're going to get the X-Men. The new
Okay.
X-Men.
It's right there. It's like less than a year.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be like a lot further, but there were so many delays because of like COVID and like the strike. It end up being faster. Pietro was the other one. They used Quicksilver and they used a different actor because it was a Fox character. So Pietro was the other one. Yeah. So that is the contract. That's why we have not have a single X-Men being recast. They have to play the same. Even in the Deadpool movies, they had to use the same X-Men because they used the ones from Days for Future Past. They didn't recast any X-Men.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and Days of Future Past gets a pass because obviously it's a time travel movie. But even in Days of Future Past, they have to show Storm and Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. And even in the Wolverine movie, you saw Patrick Stewart in there. So they have to. It's in their contract. They have to use the same characters.
Mhm. Shout
Everything's
out,
lining up.
shout out to Days of Future Past. That's a great, like my top 5.
Yeah,
Amazing.
solid movie, solid movie. Not so much Apocalypse. I was not a fan of that. Or the one with Jean Grey as the Phoenix. That was probably the worst one.
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. Yeah.
First Class was great too.
First Class is great. Love First Class. Yeah. How will they do Magneto's origin story? He would be too old if it's the origin from the Holocaust. That's interesting. A lot of people have said that because for it to be the Holocaust, he would have to be a really,
90?
really old actor. But they can do some kind of like, I don't know, Frozen thing with like Captain America did. I don't know. I could see it.
Maybe a new story for him.
Yeah, suspended animation could be a new story. I mean, unfortunately, in this world, we're not like low on atrocities, sadly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. We're not running low on those these days, unfortunately. And that's a nervous laugh. I'm not making fun of the situation.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. with that
Let's just
said,
go to the comments.
let's go to the comments. The Secret Wars event destroyed the entire multiverse and rebuilt a new one, stating with a soft reboot Prime universe that incorporated characters like the Ultimate Universe, like Miles Morales. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. In fact, DC actually did this with Crisis on Infinite Earth, where
Right.
they had all these Infinite Earths, and then they ended up just having a Prime Earth, and now Arrow, Flash, Black Lightning, and Supergirl were all on the same Prime universe. So that may be similar to what they're doing here.
Right. And it would all tie together with everything being destroyed, Misfits being the big bad. And yeah, you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. So basically what happens is there's a bunch of Kangs, and they have a multiversal war, and then one Kang wins and makes the TVA. Now, again, a lot of these things are happening in circles. So it looks like the TVA was destroyed. We have a new Victor Timely, and we have a bunch of Kang variants. They're probably all going to fight, and then eventually the Avengers and everyone else are going to fight them, and then all the Kangs are going to lose. Victor Timely might be the only one who survives, and the TVA comes back, and it's all full circle. Like, that may be it. That may be how we get the Prime universe.
Or maybe the TVA won't exist then.
That's true also. The TVA doesn't exist.
Like everything just destroyed.
Maybe.
Yeah. But then there's nothing to stop the other branches and other universes.
There's a new sacred timeline.
Yeah, but how do you keep that timeline from branching new branches without the TVA?
You won't have variants at this point. Everything's just perfect, always. Because
Okay.
where do variants come from? Why do they exist, right? We actually don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, I guess we don't. I don't know. We'll see. It's a very good point. It's a very good point. We got some more comments here. Someone says, and in the comics, Reed Richards was put in charge of rebuilding the multiverse. That's true, and it's been my working theory for a while now that Loki will be put in charge of doing that instead of Reed Richards. Okay, that is very true. That is very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. They got to do a better job with Reed Richards because he's supposed to be the smartest man in the world, and dumbass just like got defeated by freaking Wanda
Scarlet
in 2
Witch.
seconds. Yeah. And he's kind of just like told her, he's like, hey, this guy can kill you with a whisper. Yeah, thanks for letting everyone know, asshole. Like, now she's Thought you'd be smarter than that. Come on, Reed Richards.
Or maybe
All right.
like Loki could be the new Obi.
Oh, interesting.
That could be a thing.
Yeah. I really want to see this Loki.
That would also line up with Obi being a Kang.
Yeah, that would be. But I can't see Loki just being a worker in a thing. Loki is burdened with glorious purpose.
But this is glorious purpose.
uh,
Nobody knows about it, but it is glorious.
I don't think so. I think Loki is too much of a narcissist to have a job like Obi does.
Nah, I think he's growing, man.
He's
Nah,
he's
still
changing.
Loki. He's changing, but he's still Loki. He's changing, but he's still Loki.
I have high hopes.
Alright. This is the Council of Kangs wouldn't be able to handle the Council of Ricks. Oh, I thought you meant the councils of.
This is a Rick and
Reeds.
Morty reference. We're not touching
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I thought he said. I thought it was the Council of Reeds though, because there's the Council of Reeds also, right?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, there's the Council of Reeds also. Lots of councils.
Too
Go
much
ahead.
going on.
Go ahead, Abrar.
I don't know. Back to the episode. I don't know if there's like some foreshadowing, but when Morbius was like, "Hey, hop onto the bicycle," that might be a foreshadowing of his jet ski. Maybe we might get it end of the season.
Oh,
I hope so.
I hope so. I hope this man gets a jet ski. That's all
He
I want
deserves
for
it.
him. He deserves it.
That
He
is
deserves
definitely an Easter egg. I hope they do.
it. Loki's reaction when they want to get on a bicycle built for two was so funny. He's like, no, I rather the multiverse dies. I am sad we didn't get a video of them just both on the
I
bicycle.
would love to see of them on a tandem bike like that. It would have been beautiful.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. I would have been dying. All right, well that's all we have for this episode. Anything else we didn't cover? Anything else that we missed?
When Loki was, I saw this online where Loki was looking at the statues and they were pointing at I forgot his name, the Brave
Baldur.
guy.
Yeah, Baldur the
Baldur.
Brave.
So I think Daniel Craig was supposed to play him in Thor 4, but I think due to like COVID reasons or like scheduling reasons, he wasn't able to do it.
Oh, interesting. Wow, that's funny.
And for Victor Timely, since he's like a scammer, Thomas Edison was also kind of a scammer as
Yeah,
well.
from
Yeah, he
Tesla.
is.
He stole from
100%.
Tesla. That is true.
Yeah. So who would win in a fight between them?
Victor Timely. I mean, he beat Michael B. Jordan in a
Come
boxing
on.
match.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Oh, man. And someone said Daniel Craig was going to show up as the Baldur in Multiverse of Madness. So that was another reference to that. I do remember that. It was Multiverse of Madness, yeah. Someone says, are you familiar with the theory that the kid from McDonald's is actually a young Mobius? Whoa.
Whoa.
That'd be
Wow.
wild. That's a crazy theory. What was his name, though? Didn't he have a thing? Well, then obviously they changed his name to Mobius.
They changed
so it
names,
wouldn't
right?
matter.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. Wow.
I looked into that one. We'll definitely
I like
talk
that
about that next
one.
week.
I really want to find out what he was before he became a variant, because he was like, I don't care. I don't want to know. What if it's better? What if it's worse? I don't care. I'm happy here with my key lime pie.
Yo, let's go get some pie in McDonald's.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's better though? No offense to McDonald's, but Burger King has this thing called the Hershey pie, and it is so damn good. So damn good. The Hershey pies at Burger King are unbeatable.
I'll try it.
Try it.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Oh my God, try it. Everybody watching this podcast, they're cheap. They're like $1, not even, probably like 75 cents. Everyone listening to this podcast, there's nothing I believe more than the fact that the Hershey pie at Burger King is one of the best things that you will ever eat in your life. They are so good. They are so
We are
good.
not sponsored by Burger King, by the way.
But
Don't
we
Let me
get
make
the
that very
fries.
clear.
But we could be. Hey, be a Burger
Hey,
King.
Burger King, hit us up.
Hit us up.
Don't-
What were you thinking,
I
Bar?
think, the fries are bad. It's just too soggy.
Oh yeah. The fries are horrible. And I've never really had their burgers. In fact, all fast food restaurants, their burgers are horrible, except for like Five Guys and In-N-Out, I guess. But the rest are pretty terrible.
I mean, I kind of like Shake Shack.
Shake Shack is not bad. I don't consider Shake Shack. I feel like is more of like a gourmet burger spot than a fast food. It's a little nicer. But yes, I agree. Shake Shack is pretty good too. Solid. All right, we kind of went on a tangent, but hopefully we get a sponsor from some. Some
Don't
burger
worry,
spot.
as MTF says, the algorithm will put the BK ads in.
Yes. Oh man, that'd be awesome. Let's do that. All right, man. That's all I have for this episode. Any more things before we wrap this up?
I think we covered more than enough, man.
All right, man. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for people in the comments. Thank you for everybody listening on Spotify. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The more you do that, the more commercials we get. The more commercials we get, the more money we get. The more money we get, the better we can buy equipment and make the show run smoother and, get people to
Maybe we
edit
can quit our
it.
jobs and do this full time.
I don't think I'd quit my job. I love my job.
I would quit
so
my
much.
job.
Nah. But still, we're all about it. You know what? We can get on. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind using the money that we get to like upscale the production, and we'll like send our guest mics and stuff so we get perfect quality audio. Send out our episodes so that they're remastered and like perfect HD. Like all of that stuff would be awesome. That's what I want to do.
And then donate the rest to charity.
Yes, donate the rest to charity.
Shout out
I
to
love it.
charity.
Yeah, she's the stripper at my local. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, well, MTF just said y'all are lucky and drop a ton of horny Miss Minutes puns. I think we're getting to the point where he might just start, so let's end this quick.
Yeah. And like always, Uniform Kilo, in every episode he asked us this. Y'all hear the rumor that Quake will be in the Marvels? I don't know why. We every time he posts this, we don't like share it and we ignore it. But I don't understand it. Like it's just so random. Like he's posted this in every episode, even the ones that are not related to Marvel. Like even
the Bachelor episodes.
I know. He just comes in and goes like, "Yo, have y'all heard the rumor that Quake will be in the Ms. Marvel?" And I know this is a joke because Quake was supposed to be in Secret Invasion, and that was the hugest rumor, and she didn't end up being in it. So now every time he comes on our episodes, he's like, "Yo, heard the rumor about Quake being in this movie and that movie?" So it's like a running joke with this guy.
We love you, Kilo.
He just like randomly says that. All right, man. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. And until next time, Salaam, nerds.
Peace.